Sorry, there was a network glitch. I think that took all of us out, but we are back. Okay, so we're discussing on emotional intelligence in design and innovation. Design and innovation. Design and innovation. So we're looking at the point of turning detractors into advocates, turning detractors into advocates. EI aids in transforming dissatisfied customers into brand advocates by addressing emotional concerns and resolving issues promptly, and developers can turn negative experiences into positive ones. Okay, sorry, we are looking at feedback integration, not design, and we're done with design. So we're looking at feedback integration so that with positive feedbacks and by reviewing feedbacks, we can turn detractors. Instead of the customers moving to competitors' products, the customers get to stay with our product and then have to turn to ambassadors of the product. Now, we also have incorporating emotional insights. Emotional intelligence encourages developers to consider emotional feedback alongside quantitative data. Emotional insight often uncovers user needs and preferences that might not be captured through the matrix alone. So that talks about the unspoken needs. They have feedback-driven innovations. Yeah, most companies have developed new products based on insights. Okay. For instance, in IIPM, we are not we are not actually a tech-based company. We are not a tech company. Like, we are not an IT firm. So let me put it that way. But there are products that there are services we render today that are IT-based. Why? Because customers were requesting for them. Now we are looking at partnerships with some organizations that provide some IT-based trainings, because also we understand that our clients also need this IT-based training. So we are going to be owning these products in partnership with different people, but it wasn't in the initial demonstration of what we wanted to offer. So with feedback, you can come up with new products, you can come up with new features, you can come up with new items that can resonate with your clients and deliver better results. So moving forward, we're still going to have many more products coming from IPM that with time might not be our own individual product, but co-owned through with other platforms. All right. Now I have still on feedback, we have monitoring emotional trends. Emotional EI guides developers in tracking emotional trends in feedback over time. This provides valuable insight into the product's emotional trajectory and the effectiveness of implemented changes. Okay, now let's quickly look at EI on brand alignment. EI on brand alignment. EI is actually applicable to every aspect of business, but we just picked some particular areas to apply EI. That does not mean that EI will not be applied to other domains of business. No, EI is generically applied to every aspect of business, but much more, we're just paying attention to these specific areas we've picked, okay, because by picking these major areas, it will rub off on the other sides of the business, okay? Brand alignment is a critical aspect of business strategy, and applying EI to it helps create a strong emotional connection between the brand and its target audience. By aligning a brand with the emotional needs and values of its target audience, businesses can create a deeper connection that goes beyond product features. Emotional intelligence-driven brand alignment leads to higher brand loyalty, advocacy, and a strong emotional bond between the brand and its customers. Here is an elaboration on how EI enhances brand alignment. You have consistency in emotional messaging. So you remain consistent in the message you send to your customers emotionally. So EI guides businesses in maintaining consistency in emotional messaging across various touchpoints. This consistency reinforces the emotional identity of the brand in customers' mind, and that brings about the emotional resonance. They have the storytelling with emotional impact. Emotional intelligence encourages businesses to tell stories that evoke emotions. Narratives that align with customer emotions create a memorable brand experience that consumers can relate to on an emotional level. Emotional engaging content. AI-driven brand alignment focuses on creating content that appeals to the emotional interest of the target audience. Content that resonates emotionally is more likely to capture attention and engagement. Cultural and social awareness. AI helps brands navigate cultural and social nuances to align with local emotional context. This sensitivity fosters inclusivity and resonates with diverse consumer groups. Every organization, or let me not say every, most of the international organizations, this is what they play with, or this is what they evoke in their strategy when it comes to brand. Okay, they will tell you it must have a local appeal while maintaining the global vision. The product must have a local appeal while maintaining the global vision, and that is EI, that is emotional intelligence. Then building trust to emotional integrity. Brands that demonstrate emotional intelligence by staying true to their emotional promises build trust. Consumers value brands that deliver consistent emotional experiences over time. Then you have the emotional response measurement. Of course, we have data analytics helping us with emotional response analytics of the data gotten in those processes. All right. Then AI-driven brand alignment involves measuring customer emotional responses to brand messaging and experiences. These feedbacks help to adjust strategies to better match consumer emotional preferences. They have the emotional differentiation, internal emotional alignment. On the differentiation, AI guides businesses in identifying emotional gaps in the market. Brands that can fulfill or meet emotional needs have a competitive advantage in attracting and retaining customers. Internal emotional alignment. Emotional intelligence fosters emotional alignment within the customer. When employees share and embody the brand's emotional values, it strengthens the authenticity of brand messaging. Then you have the customer journey and emotional touch point. I think we've repeated this before, where we talked about the journey mapping, where you get to know what touch points, at what touch points that need to be taken into consideration for product improvement and to enhance customer experience. Feedback integration for emotional improvement. AI encourages brands to integrate emotional feedback into their strategies. Brands that actively encourage emotional feedback demonstrate their commitment to emotional alignment. Now, we also have AI on market positioning, and I think this is the last we are going to take on the application of emotional intelligence in business development. AI on market positioning. We understand, obviously, that market positioning is key for us to have either a better share of the market, advance in the market, grow in the market, have larger customers, and all of that. So if AI can help us have better market positioning, then AI is a needed identity within the business domain. By integrating emotional intelligence into market positioning, businesses can create a distinct and lasting presence in the market. Brands that understand and cater to emotional needs of their audience build deeper connections, driving customer loyalty and establishing themselves as emotionally resonant leaders in their industry. Here is an elaboration on how AI enhances market position. They have the emotional gap identification. The emotional gap identification. AI helps businesses identify emotional gaps in the market, areas where customers' emotional needs are not being met by existing products or services. They have emotional segmentation. AI, of course, marketing is actually about emotional differentiation, getting to know what appeals to each of the different segments of the customers. So EI-driven market position involves segmenting the target audience based on emotional preferences and responses. This allows businesses to tailor their positioning to connect with emotional profiles. Emotional value proposition, yeah, this is also key. When you are developing a product, your value propositions should have emotional components to it. EI guides businesses in crafting an emotional value proposition that resonates with their target audience's emotions, values, and aspirations. Brand personality alignment. EI ensures that the chosen market position aligns with the brand's emotional identity and values. Consistency between brand's personality and market positioning enhances credibility. This is very, very important. Emotionally resonant messaging. I think we've talked about that before. Then we've also talked about differentiation through emotional appeal. Solving emotional pain points. EI helps businesses identify and address emotional pain points in their target audience. Positioning a product or service as a solution to these emotional struggles can be compelling. I've said that over and over again. It's one thing to identify the emotion. It's another thing to identify the triggers. It's another thing to create a product that solves the problem, not product that just appeal to them, but product that appeal and solve the problem as well. There are brand loyalty and advocacy. EI market positioning fosters brand loyalty and advocacy. Customers who emotionally connect with brands are more likely to become loyal customers and recommend the brand to others. They will have consistency in emotional delivery. That's like consistency in emotional messaging. EI ensures that the chosen market positioning is consistently delivered across all touch points, from advertising to customer interactions. They have the emotional storytelling. EI-driven market positioning leverages emotional storytelling to communicate the brand's values and emotional resonance. Emotional stories create memorable association with the brand. They have feedback integrations one more time. They have the long-term emotional relationship. So we keep repeating virtually the same thing. They have emotional monitoring and tracking, measuring emotional impact. EI-driven market positioning involves measuring the emotional impact of the brand's efforts. This can provide insights into the effectiveness of emotional resonance strategies. Okay, so let's look at product development examples that have been driven by EI principles. One, you have the Apple iPhone. The Apple success with iPhone can be attributed to its EI-driven approach. The design, user interface, and overall user experience were crafted to evoke positive emotions. The intuition, navigation, satisfying touch interactions, and elegant aesthetics all contribute to an emotionally resonant product. The other one is the Nest thermostat. The Nest thermostat was developed with a focus on EI principles. The device learns users' temperature preferences and adjusts accordingly, creating a personalized and emotionally satisfying experience. The device's intuitive interface and elegant design also contribute to an emotionally engaging product. Just imagine what people are doing with emotional intelligence in their product development. They have the Dove's campaign for real beauty. You know the Dove's product, the Dove, all right? Dove's product development philosophy shifted towards EI-driven campaigns that celebrate real beauty and promote self-confidence. So it's not to change your skin, it's not to, but to provide real beauty. So their product is advocating for natural beauty, all right? So natural beauty appeals to our emotions. This approach resonated emotionally with customers, creating a strong brand connection and loyalty. Then you have the Disney Plus. Disney's streaming service, Disney Plus, was designed with an emotional understanding of its audience. By offering a vast library of nostalgic content, Disney Plus taps into users' emotions, reminding them of childhood memories and creating an emotional bond with the platform. Then you also have the Nike's running app. Nike's running app is another example of EI-driven product development. The app uses data to personalize training plans and provide motivational messages catering to users' emotional needs for progress and achievement. We have phones today that have that health. We have health app. They'll tell you how much they measure the number of footsteps you've taken in a day, and then they recommend number of footsteps you need to take to remain healthy and all of that. So you have those kind of features also in phones, all right? They have the Tesla electric cars. That was the boom in the in the automobile industry, okay? Tesla's electric cars not only address environmental concerns, but also appeal to consumers emotionally through their innovative and futuristic designs. The emotional excitement of driving a cutting-edge electric vehicle contributes to the brand's success. They have the Coca-Cola Share a Coke campaign. When there was this challenge of people like Coca-Cola is only sugar, it doesn't have any health benefit and all of that, they came up with the Coca-Cola Share a Coke campaign, which brought Coca-Cola back to the business. So it was after this particular campaign, they now have the Coke Delight, Coke with zero sugar, Coke Diet, different kinds of Coke. Even the one they say is Coke zero sugar. When you drink the one of zero sugar, and drink the one they say it was of sugar before, the one with zero sugar is now more sugary than the one that is of the one of zero sugar is more sugary than the one that we are telling them to remove. So the Coca-Cola Share a Coke campaign personalized bottles with individuals' names, evoking emotions of happiness and connectedness. This emotional approach led to increased engagement and sales. So they use celebrities. You have Okocha, you have Michelob, different different celebrities they were using. Okay, you see people that want to buy Coke that was definitely designed for Michelob, and then you have all those. If you are able to get three or four covers with Michelob or a particular person, you are going to win something. So they use that to drive engagement, and at the end of the day, instead of closing Coca-Cola, we ended up having more products from Coca-Cola. Then you have the Fitbit fitness trackers. Fitbit fitness trackers integrate emotional elements by celebrating users' achievement and progress. The positive reinforcement and social engagement aspect of the product align with users' emotional desires of self-improvement. We have EI today in the banking sector, in the insurance sector, every sector. Okay, so the bank want to remind you of your birthday, remind you of trainings that you need to go to for free, and several things just to get you to continuously resonate with their brand. Then we have the IKEA's home planning tools. IKEA's online tool that allows customers to plan and visualize their home designs embody EI principles. These tools create an emotionally engaging experience by helping customers envision their dream spaces. Then you have the Airbnb experiences. Airbnb's focus on experiences rather than just accommodation showcases EI-driven product development. By connecting travelers with unique local experiences, Airbnb taps into users' emotional desires for authentic and memorable travel. Now that we've come to the conclusion, emotional intelligence EI in product development involves understanding and addressing users' emotional needs, desires, and responses throughout the development process. It emphasizes creating products that evoke positive emotions, resonate deeply with users, and foster meaningful connections. EI-driven product development results in enhanced user experiences, greater customer loyalty, differentiation in competitive markets, and the ability to innovate by addressing emotional gaps. By prioritizing emotional aspects, EI-driven products stand out and create lasting brand consumer relationships and contribute to overall success in the market. So I want to say thank you for coming to the completion of this module on EI in business development. So I would like to know if there are questions for me before I give my assignment, which is going to be done and presented now. Okay, do I have any question? Do I have any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? And while you go through your e-learning portal, if you go through this, I have question, please feel free to